Hi, everybody, and welcome to the worldwide headquarters of Bet a Little to Win a Lot. Why do I say that? Well, if you watched the seminar yesterday, you heard that on Sunday there was one winning Pick Six ticket. It paid in excess of $30,000, and it was bought for $32 through FanDuel/TVG. And you know what? History repeated itself yesterday. Yesterday, in the $1 Sunset Pick Six, that's the new wager, linking three races from Gulfstream Park, the last three races from Gulfstream Park, with the last three races at San Anita. Once again, there was one winning ticket. That ticket holder bought the ticket for $10 through expressbet.com. So congratulations to both of those skilled horse players. But of course, we start fresh today. And an ultimate Sharpie is sitting alongside me to walk us through today's 10-race card. His name, Gino Buccola. Gino, happy Saturday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thank you. You set the bar high. I got to try to live up to some of those great hits. Excellent handicapping from some people who hit those big scores.
Some really good handicapping. Wow. I mean, think about that. $10 ticket hitting a pick six, a $32 ticket hitting a pick six. You got to be a Sharpie to hit that.
One thing I do almost every day that I play, I will play small tickets similar to that if I'm playing a pick five or a pick six with my strongest opinions, maybe just singling or going one or two deep, playing a ticket that's 20 or 30 bucks, because some days your opinion is going to be right. And when it is, you want to make sure you capitalize. If you're not in it, you can't win it, right?
Some of the pro players I know that have hit on big tickets said some of their biggest scores have come on their smallest tickets.
Yep.
That's because you have a strong opinion. The bigger tickets, you're already admitting that you don't have a good opinion because you're using the all button. You're going deep in a lot of races. So it's okay to put in little tickets because they can hit, particularly if you've got a really sharp pencil and doing your handicapping well.
Yep, you trust yourself. And with these low takeout wagers too, even wagers that would sometimes come back a little bit less are playing better.
$3 late pick three is one example.
The
$1 coast to coast pick five.
Coast to coast sunset six, all of those, they carry over if there's nobody hitting them to the next day. So the pool keeps building. A lot of opportunities for players who are trying to bet a little to win a lot.
Speaking of betting a little to win a lot, this is a little bit more expensive, but you can certainly win a lot if you play in today's $1,000 Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge Super Low Ratio Qualifier. We have the graphic we'll show you right now. You can play both on track here at Santa Anita as well as around the country on expressbet.com. You're very familiar with this tournament, Gino. You put up $1,000. $500 is your live bankroll to play on the races at Santa Anita. The other $500, here's the graphic, goes directly to the prize pool. And the beauty of this particular tournament is one out of every 20 entries will win a $10,000 Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge seat, which is the ultimate pinnacle of handicapping tournaments.
Yeah, this is getting you right into that tournament in just a couple weeks. And if $1,000 is too much, a lot of the times they have feeders
you can qualify for less, sure.
For $40 or $100. Right now they have a great series for $100 at Santa Anita and over at Keeneland that leads you into some of these bigger tournaments. So if you have not qualified yet, you can still get involved today for the $1,000. And look, it's a lot, but you're going to be playing for thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars if you can get into the BCBC.
And even if you don't win a BCBC seat, which is worth $10,000, whatever you win handicapping is yours to keep. So you can still have a good day. I know it's a lot of money for some players, but you're able to keep what you're going to win. And if you're planning to play a good-sized bankroll today, you might as well participate in the $1,000 Santa Anita BCBC qualifier, either on track here at Santa Anita or anywhere around the country online at expressbet.com. We need to take a quick break. That's because we need to find out who the early scratches are on today's card. We're going to introduce Frank Miramati to the program. We'll find out who those scratches are. When we return, we'll find out who Gino likes on today's 10-race card. Thanks so much for joining us on this beautiful Saturday, everybody, here at the Great Race Place. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf out 10 feet for today's racing action. Here are the early changes. Race 1, early pick 5 starts. No changes in the first. The second is the beginning of the early pick 4 with no changes. And in the third, no changes. Race 4 starts the special middle pick 4 today. The middle pick 4 is on races 4, 5, 6, and 7. Note in your program, it should read 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 5, Lena Lingard, 3 pounds over. 6, A Kitten for Sue, 4 pounds overweight. In the fifth, started the $2 pick 6 and all turf pick 3. Scratch number 6, Coyote Cafe. Race 6 starts the late pick 5. No changes. In the seventh, beginning of the late pick 4, we have blinker notes.
Race 8 starts the late pick 3. Number 1, Lucky Nia, 3 pounds over. The 9th is the Lure Stake, scratch number 4, Endlessly. And the 10th has super high 5-wagering, scratch 5, Thirsty Trickster. Those are the changes on today's program. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park, where they'll be at the gate for the first in 57 minutes. Back to Quigley's Corner we go. His very special guest today, you saw him for years on the then TVG. Now you get his insights with the Daily Racing Forum. The one and only Gino Buccola is with Tom Quigley. Enjoy.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Gino Buccola. As Frank mentioned, you've seen him in years past on FanDuel/TVG. Now he does a number of seminars with a number of important industry people, courtesy of Daily Racing Form, one of his major employers. It's our pleasure to have Gino on today's card. As you'll find out over the next 28 minutes, he has done the work, and hopefully he'll find a few nuggets for all of us. Gino, let's kick things off in race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We're on the turf course today. The turf rails are at 10 feet. Of course, it's a beautiful day here in Southern California. The distance of race 1 is 1 mile on the turf course. It's a starter optional claiming race. We've got a field of 8. The morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 6-5 is number 1, Night Out from the Red Hot Phil D'Amato barn. 8 different ways you can go here, Gino. Which way you going and why?
We also had to get a little shout out to some fans we had watching. Our buddy Tyler Frasto. We were just talking about the contest. He had a group from the Michael Nias Foundation that he's taking around giving a tour today. So we always love seeing young people out at the track. And hopefully we're going to create some future fans.
That's how you and I got started, right? We were young kids, didn't know anything about the game, and lo and behold, look what happened a few decades later.
I was going to say, so you got to get him young. So good job, Tyler, and everyone taking them all around. I do think the 1 is probably the horse to beat in here. But honestly, looking through this field, I was kind of looking for a new face and a horse who has a little bit of lighter speed figures, but I think fits pretty well in this group is the number 5 coming in a little hot. So this is a horse where you can go through a lot of this guy's career. And to me, the races make sense. First 3 starts, he's just facing tougher. Game Warrior is a horse who won the Oceanside, was 3rd in the Del Mar Derby. That's a grade 2. Charlie's to Blame is a stakes winner. Legitimate won next time out by 12 lengths. The Padre is the grade 2 Del Mar Derby winner. You look at those races, he's in too tough. When they dropped him down into the maiden 62.5, that's when he sat a pretty good trip at a mile and wins. Then again, I think he's in a little bit too tough at the first level allowance against that group. When they drop him down against claimers, much better efforts behind Tariff a couple times. I think he can sit pretty close in a race where it looks like Prince of Del Mar is going to go to the lead. Tom, he has had his trip the last couple times, though, so I went 5-1. I had the 3 as more of an under in here. I hope the 5 coming in a little hot can sit a nice trip not too far out of it.
Let's take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This race is on the main track. 6 furlongs the distance. Maiden special weight Calbred. Fillies and mares. We've got a field of 7. The Maury Line favorite from the Steve Knapp barn. Number 3, Timekeeper's Charm. Talk to us about race 2, Gino.
Yeah, I'm taking a big swing here. I thought the 4 horse was kind of interesting, Reckless Ride. Now, I do respect Timekeeper's Charm. I think that's the horse to beat at the level, proven repeatedly. You've seen 2 or 3 races that are almost winning races at this level. But Reckless Ride is interesting to me. This is a horse who started and debuted and had legitimate traffic trouble in those first 2 starts on the dirt. The race that I actually really like is the May 26th race, going 5.5 on the dirt. The real key for this filly, can she just get out of the gate a little bit? She doesn't have all that much early speed. She's had some trouble getting out of the gate. So I think if she can get out of the gate, she classes up well with this group. That's going to be the key for her. Getting back to a dirt sprint is where she was very good.
Gino, a question for you, actually two questions. Let's first start with number 5, Sexy Blue. The reason why I bring your attention to her is because take a look at the jockey change. Over to Hector Barrios for a barn that's relatively obscure. You can see, courtesy of the Daily Racing Form past performances, Hector has never ridden for this barn. Last time out, she kind of woke up finishing a good second. You give any sort of a look to her?
Anytime you get a jockey like Hector jumping aboard, I mean, very rarely is it going to be not an upgrade for Hector. He's riding so well and on both surfaces. So I do think you want to take a second look, especially at the lower levels sometimes, where a rider can maybe make the difference. A really good rider can maybe pick that horse up. So in a pick 5 situation, that horse is on the ticket for me.
And the question about the first-time starter on the bottom, number 7, Bebop Lady. Before I ask you the question, I want to tell you and all the viewers something that you might not know and you definitely don't see in the racing form. Back on January 4th, 2025, Bebop Lady was entered in a 6-furlong Calbred maiden special weight race. Believe it or not, her morning line that particular afternoon was 15-1. She scratched at the gate at odds of 25-1. Now she shows up on the main track at morning line odds of 2-1. She gets Juan Hernandez, Peter Urton trains. He's not known to fire with his first-time starters, but she is the second choice on the morning line. Do you give her any sort of look?
She fits. I'm curious how she will be bet in this race to see if the money shows up with her. I think in races like this, a lot of times people are kind of gravitating to a firster because they want a new face because they've kind of seen the same story with a lot of these runners. So in a race that's kind of evenly matched, I wouldn't talk anyone off her. Dam won a couple times. She does have a few winning sibs. And Peter Urton used to never win with first-timers. He's gotten better now. He can win.
Yesterday's last race.
Right? Yeah, he can win with the horses that are ready to rock and roll.
Race number 3, we're back on the turf course, this time sprinting. 6 furlongs the distance for fillies and mares. $25,000 is the claiming tag. A good field of 6. The morning line favorite, number 1. Don't you forget, first off the claim for trainer George Papadromo, always dangerous in that scenario. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Gino, we want to watch a replay for 3 of these 6 runners. It's the replay back on August 23rd. So the runners in race 3 today that are exiting this replay we're about to watch are number 2, Ready, Jet, Go. Number 4, Shangri-La, and on the bottom, number 6, Tam's Little Angel. The one we want to focus on is Tam's Little Angel. This was 5 furlongs at Del Mar. As you've heard me say many times before, the outside post sprinting on Del Mar's turf course are very disadvantageous, and Tam's Little Angel drew post position number 7 in a field of 10. You'll see in the past performances, she just missed by a neck. She was slow to change leads as they came down the lane as well. But let's listen to Larry Comas describe the action. You be the judge. Watch the replay back on August 23rd and pay attention to the runner wearing saddlecloth number 7. That'll be Tam's Little Angel.
Going back in. Once again, all in line. They're off. And it's Sensational ZZ out the best. On the inside comes Dancing Soul. It's these two joined between by Itzel, and now the 3 of them are across the track. Break of 3 back to Velocious running along in 4th. Shangri-La, 5th on the inside by 2. Then Amanda Rose and Coral Gables Kalen. 3 lengths more back to Tam's Little Angel, Diamond Bar Gal at the rail, and Ready, Jet, Go is the trailer. Racing for the far turn, Itzel on the outside, Dancing Soul at the rail. Itzel's got a neck in front. Sensational ZZ is 2 lengths off of them. It's 2.5 back to Velocious. Shangri-La next on the inside, Amanda Rose and Coral Gables Kalen. Itzel turning for home in front. Itzel and Kazushi Kimura have the lead as Shangri-La begins to roll up the rail. Here comes Shangri-La up on the inside of Itzel, and Tam's Little Angel closing on the outside as well. Shangri-La, Tam's Little Angel, Shangri-La. Tam's Little Angel was second. Ready, Jet, Go flew from last. May have been third in a photo with Amanda Rose.
That was a heartbreak for those players who backed her that particular afternoon. Now she's 3-1 on the morning line, but she did show, some signs of life in that replay.
Yeah, what I like, if you're looking at the 4 Shangri-La who ended up winning that race, who's also in here, it was a tale of 2 trips.
Correct.
Right?
Down inside.
Gets to save all the ground, move inside, while Tam's Little Angel had to go way out wide. As you mentioned, took a few strides to kind of straighten out and switch leads. But I think at 6 furlongs also is where Tam's Little Angel is a little bit better versus 5 furlongs. It's a strange race, too, because there's not that much early speed in here on paper. That's my concern. You've actually seen that Tam's Little Angel can sit a bit closer in races where they're not going all that fast. So I'm curious what the pace looks like, but I do think 6 furlongs will be better for Tam's Little Angel there.
Tam's Little Angel, 2 for 4 at the distance of 6 furlongs, today's distance. Also, she loves to win races throughout her career, 10 for 40 lifetime. So she's got a nose for the wire perhaps that increase in distance today compared to that replay we watched could be the difference. Race number 4 on today's 10 race card means we're offering a 50-cent middle pick 4. The 50-cent middle pick 4 begins in race number 4. We're sprinting the abbreviated sprint distance of 5.5 furlongs on the main track. For fillies and mares, $10,000 claimers, non-winners at 2 races lifetime. Number 7, Little Boom Boom in a field of 9 is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Just this condition alone kind of tells you that there's possibly chaos in this race. Give us your thoughts on race 4, Gino.
She's a horse to beat. Her last couple races, sort of similar trip. She was drawn down on the inside, and both times she got shuffled back and lost her positioning. I think moving to the outside will really help her. If you look at the races where she was drawn more to the outside, she was able to kind of work her way into a nicer trip, sitting just a couple lengths off. So I do think she's the horse to beat. A lot of times in races like this, I'm looking for the horses who I think are going to be on the lead or as close to it as possible. I think Lena Lingard, making the third start of the form cycle, tried 25 non-2 claimers. Now you get to drop into 10 non-winners of 2.
The other Steve Miotti.
Yep, and I give this one a shot. This horse pushed up the inside to the lead with 2 others to the outside. Another one who gets a little more of an outside draw than when you were down on the inside getting shuffled. So I think Lena Lingard could maybe get the lead in here. I think the 7 Little Boom Boom's the one to beat.
What do you do, generally speaking, with an invader like number 4, West Side Okie? 2 starts at Emerald Downs. Actually, 2 very good efforts as well at the maiden 10 level. Interestingly enough, on this filly, the Lasix comes off today, which I found a bit unusual. She does get some respect on the morning line at 4-1. You give her any sort of a look with that early speed?
I do. She's in the pick 5 for me. She's a horse who actually was really visually impressive too. She sat on the outside kind of on even terms. Then she just put that gal away. She was actually on the inside with the rival outside on near even terms. And I had her as a wild card from Emerald. Definitely a pick 4, pick 5 player.
Race number 5 begins 2 wagers, both the $2 pick 6 as well as the $3 all turf pick 3. We kick off both wagers in race number 5, going 1 mile on the turf course. For maiden special weight Calbred, 2-year-old fillies, there is one scratch. Scratch the 6, Coyote Cafe. Leaves us with a field of 7. Number 5, Drew Liner from the Craig Lewis barn is 2-1 on the morning line. Once again, we're going to watch a replay, Gino. This replay was back on August 28th. A number of runners in this particular race, race number 5, exit this replay we're about to watch, including number 4, Nancy 2.0, number 5, Drew Liner, the morning line favorite, and number 7, 80s. The one I want you to pay attention to is in the replay, number 9, Nancy 2.0. This was her very first effort. She kind of drew the outside post position number 7 in a field of 10. She will be wearing saddle cloth number 9, by the way, but she kind of trailed the field early. She made a lot of starts in terms of trying to make a progress move forward, then had to check. And she just had a little bit of a subtle rough trip. Now they switch over to Antonio Fresu. So let's watch the replay back on August 28th and pay attention to the runner wearing saddle cloth number 9. That'll be the runner in race number 5 today, named Nancy 2.0.
In line. They're off. Let It Begin begins on the lead. Opens up the lead by a length and a half early on from Drew Liner out running in second. Priscilla's alongside. And then comes 80s and Tasha on the far outside. Make their way into the turn that way. And it will be Let It Begin to lead the way. Let It Begin by a length and a half. Priscilla second. Blame It on Abby squeezing through on the inside into third. 80s is fourth. Tasha fifth on the outside. Then remember April and Drew Liner together. A length and a half clear of It's a Fair Life and Coyote Cafe on the outside. After that comes 92.0, the trailer. 22.86 was that first quarter mile as they head up the backstretch. Let It Begin by almost 2. Priscilla, 80s, Blame It on Abby lined up right behind. A length and a half clear of Remember April, who's in fifth, just 3.5 lengths off the lead as It's a Fair Life squeezes through on the inside of her. Drew Liner is after that. Then comes Coyote Cafe, Nancy 2.0, and now Tasha is the trailer. 47.84 was the half mile. Let It Begin by 3/4 of a length. 80s on the outside. Blame It on Abby has the rail. A length and a half to Remember April in fourth. Still about 4 lengths to make up for that one. Then comes It's a Fair Life. Coming to the top of the stretch, Let It Begin, trying to take him every step of the way on the lead here. 80s is a length back in second. Remember April, gaining ground on the outside. Blame It on Abby is down toward the rail, still in with a shot 2 with a furlong to run. To the back of the pack, coming up on the outside. Here comes It's a Fair Life, kicking it in. And then comes Coyote Cafe, and from well behind Drew Liner, It's a Fair Life's going to do it. It's a Fair Life to beat Drew Liner. Then came 80s in third, and fourth is either Nancy 2.0 or Coyote Cafe.
Gino, there were a number of tough trips in that race, including Nancy 2.0, who was wearing saddlecloth number 9. Also, the morning line favorite, Drew Liner, had all sorts of trouble. You can see she closed into second. 80 showed early speed, now gets a jockey change over to Umberto Rispoli. A lot of different ways you can go in race number 5. Who do you like and why?
Yeah, I think Nancy 2.0 is a player out of that race, too. I picked Drew Liner in the second spot. So I think that's a race that's definitely very important to playing this 5th race. The one horse that I'm interested in is the 2, Cecilia Street. So this is a horse who has been on the dirt both times, 2 sprints. Now 2 sprints to a route will stretch out. Career debut off a little bit slow. Second start, much better beginning, was actually sitting third, was just a length off or so early on, and then backed off a little bit and sort of came on again. It wasn't really that race that I'm very interested in. A couple of the workouts, if you watch on First TV, there's one on October the 5th that's actually very, very good. And then on the work reports, they said that the October 12th one was also very, very good. This horse's dam was 3 for 9 on the turf, all 3 wins going long on the turf. So the blinkers come off, 2 sprints to a route for a horse who's bred to be better on the turf, better going long on the turf, is working well with sneaky speed. I would not be shocked if this horse can be on the lead or very close to it early from down on the inside. DeMuro isn't the most aggressive rider, but I would love to see this horse get put into the race early on. I just think you're going to get a big effort from Cecilia Street.
Race number 5, a very competitive race to kick off both the $2 pick 6 as well as the $3 all turf pick 3. Let's turn the page, Gino. Take a look at race number 6. This race begins the 50-cent late pick 5 wager. We're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track for 2-year-olds. It's a starter optional claiming race. Field of 7, number 1, Sol Elliott, is the 9-5 morning line favorite. Doug O'Neill, fresh off a victory yesterday in race number 4. You expect him to win race 6, or are you looking elsewhere?
Well, it could be Doug O'Neill because he has a very live shot to the outside as well. AP again, who I'm not sure if that was a typo or maybe just a little bit off, but that number is going to come down because this horse was actually favored 2 starts back over Opus Uno, who's only 4-1 in here. So I think that might have been a little bit off. So that price will definitely come down on AP again. Drawn well. My concern would be, do horses like AP again, Opus Uno, Italio, all flash a little bit of speed in here? If so, then it probably sets up for a horse from off the pace. That could be the one, Sol Elliott. I get a little concerned with horses down on the inside like that sometimes. You could get that tricky trip. I think the 5, Stay for the Boom, is interesting in here, Tom. This horse had a good start last time out on October the 4th, got caught a little bit wide, dropped back to 5th, 3 lengths off, and was 5 deep at one point, was 3 wide the entire way around the track. I think with a better trip, Stay for the Boom will come closing. I think the 7, AP again, is very interesting from the outside.
Gino, your top pick, number 5, Stay for the Boom, is interesting. If you kind of read between the past performance running lines, you can see that he debuted at Ellis Park in a maiden 30 race, and he won very convincingly. What did the connections do? They shipped him to Del Mar and entered him in a grade 3 turf event, but not only entered him, they paid the supplemental nomination fee. Now, granted, that effort was very disappointing, but it was a tough post 13 out of a field of 13. So they brought him back down to a more realistic level, and he actually ran pretty well. Now they shortened him up in distances, as Gino mentioned, with Umberto Rispoli in the saddle for trainer Phil D'Amato. He is one of many contenders in race number 6.
Tom, look, I printed out some Breeders' Cup PPs. The horse that he lost to, Hey Nate Hey.
I've heard of that horse.
Is the horse who I like a little bit. I was going to tell you that might have been one of the horses I'm keeping an eye on. So I've been following that form pretty closely.
You always got to pay attention when you're handicapping the races, and Gino definitely does. Race number 7 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're back on the turf course, 1 mile the distance. Maiden claiming $50,000 of the tag. A field of 9. Take note, number 4 is a first-time gelding, the morning line favorite. One of a few 4-year-olds in the field. Number 8, Sweet Odyssey from the Phil D'Amato barn. 2-1 on the morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 7, Gino.
What Shakespeare is to drama, Bernini may be to sculpture. That's what they say about Lorenzo Bernini. I was looking it up. He's an Italian sculptor. I'm Italian. Shout out to the Italian guys. I think this horse is really
celebrate Columbus Day, by the way. You rightfully should.
Yeah, right. I feel like I have to.
Yeah, maybe
right?
not California, but yeah.
Yeah, but Lorenzo Bernini is getting what one of my buddies calls the makeover package.
You got the Italian jockey in the saddle.
You got Rispoli in the saddle. This horse is a half sibling to Arklow, who earned $3 million and is a grade 1 winner. He's a half sibling to a grade 2 winner named Murad. He's going to get the blinkers on, first time gelding, drop in class, back to the turf. That turf race on July the 26th was really sneaky. This horse was inside, was just behind the leaders, angled off the rail to the 2-path. He took a shot chasing a lone speed winner, Broski, that day. He was all in early. He tired. I just think it's a really nice spot. That July race had 2 next out winners. One of them came back to win a maiden special weight. Lorenzo Bernini, very well fit and hopefully I can sculpt myself out a nice little late pick 4 starting with him.
Race number 8 begins the aforementioned $3 late pick 3. Always pays well because higher minimum, lower takeout. Support the track that listens to you, the horse player. We also don't allow wagering after 2 minutes to post to the computer-assisted wagering group. So the things you've demanded as an industry, Sandy, to certainly listen to you. So please support us because we support you and we appreciate all your support. But for you, get off my soapbox for a minute. Gino, race number 8, we're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Maiden claiming fillies and mares in for a $20,000 tag. This is a really good card because take a look at race number 8. 10 different ways you can go in race 8. The morning line favorite, number 9, Ride Elbow Ranch from the Mark Glatt barn, who's been a little chilly this meet. 9-5 on the morning line. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here, Gino?
She's in the mix. I picked her second in here. The horse who I'm the most interested, I think will offer us some more value, is the number 3, Moonlit Courage. So this is a horse who debuted on the grass. She lost to a horse named Favor to You, who's a nice filly for Phil D'Amato. She finished 4th in the John Harris down the hill the opening weekend of the meet. Second start, she's on the dirt. That's a good effort. She finished 4th that day. She actually moved into the field. She actually was on the lead. And then the horse on the outside ran off and then changed the complexion of the race. So I think there's a little more speed than it may look like for Moonlit Courage. Winner that day came back to win the first level allowance next out at Los Alamitos, the August 31st race. That one was back on the turf. So now you go second start back off the short little break. You get back to the dirt. You get a drop in class and you're back in a dirt sprint. I think the 3 can sit a nice trip just off the pace a little bit.
6-1 on the morning line for Gino's top selection in race number 8. Number 3, Moonlit Courage, I should say. Race number 9 is our feature race on today's card. It's the $80,000 added lure stakes. It also begins the $5 late daily double. We're traveling 1 mile on the turf course, 1 scratch in the race. Scratch number 4, Endlessly, leaves us with a field of 6. Number 1, St. Anthony, fresh off an attempt at Kentucky Downs for trainer Neil Drysdale, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. This is a really interesting race, Gino. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, the conditions of this race. These are for 3-year-olds and up, which have not won a sweepstakes at a mile or over other than a state bred in 2025. After the scratch of Endlessly, this field combined is 1 for 20 on the year. So you just have a lot of horses who are not in win form. That's what makes it a little bit difficult. Endlessly would have been my top pick, but after the scratch, what I did is I went to a horse who I think is on the upswing. For where a lot of these horses, I'm not sure if they may have already hit their best. I'm going to go with Nesso's Last Hurrah, and then Goliad to me is the speed. So those are the 2 horses I'm the most intrigued by in this race, because I think with Nesso's Last Hurrah and the outside draw, he could sit a little bit off. You don't want to get caught up in a battle with Goliad because you're going to pay for it late if you do. Hopefully Goliad goes, Nesso's Last Hurrah can maybe sit second or third from the outside.
Richard Mandela trains 2 in this field, Gino, including number 6, Sumter, who is just 1 for 11 the last years. But that one victory, believe it or not, was last year in the stakes back on October 19th. The blinkers last time out were just an experiment. You can see the blinkers come right back off. Now going from a sprint to a route, you know Sumter is not going to battle with the barnmate Goliad. But do you give a look to Sumter at 8-1?
Yeah, and that race last year was probably tougher than this one.
Absolutely. Look at the company line.
El Patente, right? So he, I think, is only 1 for the last 21 if you go even deeper. But he really fell into it, and you kind of feel like he could be the type of horse who does trip out, maybe falls into a really good trip in here. He exits a live race. Yeah, I really wouldn't talk you off of anyone. That is one of the hardest races on the card.
We close out the day in race number 10, offering $1 super high five wagering. Keep in mind we have live racing tomorrow at Santa Anita, 9-race card beginning at 1 p.m. Pacific time. But first things first, race 10, we're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track for Calbred, fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types. Scratch the 5, leaves us with a field of 10. Number 10, Lady Gregory, once again from the Steve Knapp barn, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. We need a winner to close it out, Gino.
You know what's funny about Lady Gregory? When you look at her at first glance, she's really consistent. She's a 12-time winner. You look, and she's got wins on the dirt, synthetic turf. She's actually lost her last 7 dirt races. And she takes a lot of money on the dirt races, but her figures aren't quite as good as they are on the turf, right? She will really pop with big figures. I'm a little concerned that she might just be undervalued in here because we're playing her off some of those really good wins and that turf form, right? So for me, I'm going to look for a few others in here. I thought the 6 Stay in Line was really interesting. If you just dial kind of the complete opposite of what I just said about Lady Gregory, look at Stay in Line and look at this mare's dirt form. Her dirt races are really, really good. She has 2 races that you can completely excuse. One of them came before a long, long layoff of over a year. Since she came back from that layoff, she won at this level at 16-1, and she beat Lady Gregory after a 14-month layoff. She probably wasn't even at her best that day. Then they tried turf 2 races in a row. I think you can just put a line right through those 2 turf races, back to the dirt, beats 25 claimers, and then a solid second behind Lovin' on the Run, who's in pretty nice form right now. So I think Stay in Line has speed, can sit off a little bit if need be. I might play one ticket where I try to get alive to single to the 6, Stay in Line.
Stay in Line, ridden by now the journeyman Welfin Orantes. You can see when you're looking through the running lines for Stay in Line, Welfin, when he was riding Stay in Line before, had the Bug Boy allowance. Now he's a journeyman. Hats off to trainer Andy Mathis for keeping the mount with Mr. Orantes, because that isn't easy to do once they lose the bug, but Mr. Mathis showing some class here. Gino, before I cut you loose, there's 2 more wagers to talk about that we haven't touched upon. The first one would be the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5. If we can show that graphic, as you well know, the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5 combines 5 races from both Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita. It's the $1 minimum, low 15% takeout. Paid well yesterday. It's always a fun bet.
These are the 2 best bets in all of racing right now. There's no CAW wagering in them. There's 15% low takeout. They're dollar-based minimums. They carry over to the next day. They always pay way better than they should. If you're someone who plays on a limited bankroll, I'd recommend making these part of your bankroll Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when Santa Anita and Gulfstream are running.
And speaking of a limited bankroll, as I mentioned in the opening of the seminar, the $1 Sunset Pick 6 yesterday got hit on a $10 ticket. It paid close to $7,000. So as I mentioned, bet a little and win a lot here at the headquarters worldwide of that particular common phrase. Gino, thanks so much for your time and input today. I really appreciate you joining me on the set. I know you're looking forward to the Breeders' Cup, as am I. When we come back for the main meet, I'll make sure you come back on the seminar real soon.
Anytime you need, we'll have a lot of Breeders' Cup help for you. Packages are already available right now at shop.drf.com.
Right, perfect. Make sure you visit drf.com. Make sure you use Formulator. All the statistics you heard Gino and I rattle about for the next 40 minutes are courtesy of the input work we do with DRF Formulator. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great afternoon of racing, and good luck.